Back again with another example patch as to something that we can do with Tides version 2. And in this video, we're going to take a look at using Tides as a clock source or a clock divider or multiplier, particularly if you're looking for something polyrhythmic. Before we talk about Tides, let's talk a little bit about what exactly a clock signal is and how it gets sent and received by modules. You know, we say clock module or clock signal, and we act like it's something special, but it's not anything more than a square wave. There are a couple of particular bits about the square wave, though, that matter. One is that the size of each wave is consistent because it's representing a constant pulse, which is kind of that clock idea. Now, each of these waves from crest to trough is going to be a particular width or take up a certain amount of time. And what a clock module is really doing for us is it's simplifying the math of how do I convert BPM into hertz or into an oscillation. So think about it this way. Let's say that we wanted a clock signal and we wanted it to be at 120 BPM. Well, this is beats per minute, so we could divide this by 60, which is the number of seconds, and that will give us 0.5. So in other words, at 120 BPM, every second we should be getting two of these oscillations. Right, so this square wave, you could think of it as a square wave oscillator. And at 120 BPM, we want two of these waves to happen. Well, this measurement of how often something happens per second, that is really hertz. And so we could say that a clock module is simply a module that oscillates and it converts some kind of BPM figure into some sort of oscillation frequency. Now, when modules deal with receiving clock, one of the important things to understand is that for the most part, they don't care about the shape of the wave. The thing that they care about is what's called the leading edge. So the leading edge is just the vertical part right at the start of a wave. So for example, let's say that we had a source that didn't have a nice square wave like this. What if we had a source where it had a very short pulse width? So we had something of this sort. This would be fine as a clock signal as well. What's happening is when a module receives a clock signal, the only thing they're looking at is what's called this leading edge, so this part here. So in this case, it would be looking at those edges, and down here, it would be looking at those edges. Well, it turns out that we can use that to our advantage. Tides cannot produce a square wave. But what we can do is we can take what would be a normal shape like, say, that. So this is what Tides produces. We could take that shape and we could set the skew all the way to the left so that the skew is pointing down here, and that will give us a shape that looks like that. Or we could modify the shape a little bit and get something that looks like that. The point being is that because Tides is an oscillator, we can skew it so that we create a leading edge, and as soon as we have the leading edge, we can use Tides as a clock source. All right, so here we are back at the module. You can see I've got it set up where I'm in the medium mode here, and I have it in looping function mode, and the rest of the settings are fairly basic, and you can see we're getting a triangle LFO here. So here's what I was describing a second ago. When we deal with a clock source, the thing that we're concerned about is the leading edge. So if we turn the shape all the way over to the left, and we turn the slope all the way over to the left, what happens here, you can see, is that we start getting a very straight up and down leading edge that will define the width of our pulse. Now, if we wanted to use this as a clock source, the thing that we're going to need to know is how frequently is this happening. Now, for this, you're going to need some kind of scopy module like this that will measure it for you. So in this case, I'm using O'Toole by Davy Jones. There are other similar ones, the Mordax data, among others. But you can see here, one of the modes that I can turn this into is frequency mode, and this will tell me the hertz. Now, based on the math that I had shown you earlier, more or less what we can do is we can take the hertz and we can multiply it times 60, and that will give us our BPM. So following the example of previously, if I tune this down a little bit, so I'm looking to get about 2.0 hertz. And at that point, that will be giving us a clock signal that is 120 BPM. All right, so I'm not going to spend any more time on this. You get the idea. But we have a clock signal that is approximately 120 BPM. And we did that by sculpting the shape to give us a leading edge and using a tool to let us measure the hertz. Just to demonstrate that really quick, you can see if I patch that clock signal here into Renee, it is advancing the sequencer on the basis of that because it in fact thinks that it is getting 120 beats per minute. Let's say that you already have a clock source that you like in your system, and maybe it's only giving you a couple of different clock values and you want to divide or multiply that. Well, tides can be used for that as well. So instead of using the internal oscillation, you can keep all the same settings. So I'm going to keep the shape and the slope tuned to how they are. But instead, we can patch a clock signal here into the clock input. Perfect. Okay. So I have my external clock set to 120 BPM, and you can see I brought the signal in. And as long as your frequency knob is perfectly up and down, you're not going to do any division or multiplication. If you turn it to the left, you're going to divide. So you can see we're going from 2 hertz down to 2/3 of hertz. And likewise, if we turn the knob to the right, it will multiply it. Now, this in and of itself it could be helpful. And if you just had one signal and needed to divide it, in a pinch, you could do this. But Tides has the interesting modes up here. And when it comes to clock signals, the red mode or the multiplication division mode, aka frequencies mode, can actually turn out some really interesting results. So you can see I'm in frequencies mode now. What that's going to do is it's going to take my base clock signal. So in this case, that would be whatever my master clock is. And to the left, it will divide those values. So now you can see, let me turn that back up. So you can see in up and down position, we're doing no division, and I'm getting roughly 2 hertz, which is about 120 BPM. And if I turn it to the left here, you can see that this main signal doesn't change, but if I was to patch it over here, you can see that we're now getting 1.5. If I was to patch over here, we're getting 1 1/3. And again, if I was to patch over here, we're getting 1. So we've taken that clock signal and we've divided it. And the number that changes over here, if you really want to do the math, you can. Most of the time, if I'm going to be using something like Tides, I'm just sort of going by ear. But in this case, we know that if I'm sending 120 BPM here, then my first port will be 120 BPM, and my fourth port with this knob at this position turned to the left will be, 60 BPM. And then I could probably do the math for the ones in the middle here. As you turn the shift knob to the left, it will adjust what these values are. You can see we've divided even more, so this is now 30 BPM. And all the way at the extreme left, we're going to go down to 15 BPM. Now, the same holds true if we were to go over to this side. It's going to multiply that. So you can see we jumped up to now 240 BPM. And if I was to go all the way, we're getting up practically into audio rate. We're at 16 hertz, which you can see is now registering as a C0. 16 hertz would be, I don't know, I can't do the math off the top of my head, but basically that's really fast. Okay, so you might say, well, that's just a bunch of math. How is that fun? What is interesting here is if you watch the LEDs, we're basically getting clock signals that are happening at different pulses. Now, there are a handful of modules on the market that will do various forms of random gates or polyrhythmic gates or polyrhythmic clocks. And here we can basically use tides to do that, where this knob is sort of controlling how fast or how slow they're happening. So I've patched up a couple of extra voices here. I have two outputs coming from Platts, coming into the two ripples, and also I have Dixie sort of off on the side here going into a red dragon. Now, right now, there's no sequence on any of them playing. It's just the oscillator going into the filter, going into the VCA. Here's the three sounds. And the third one you'll hear once I turn the amp on. Anyways, what we can do now is we can take these clock signals and we can route those into another envelope. So I'm going to be using IntelliGel Quadrax. And what you'll hear is that they're all going to start on the same beat, but as I touch the shift knob, they're going to be different. So there's our first voice. Second voice. And third voice here. So already it doesn't sound amazing. Let me turn on a little bit of delay and reverb. Okay, so here's where the polyrhythm stuff comes in. As I move to the shift knob, it's going to change the clock multiplications, and they're going to start happening at different rates of each other. Now, what's cool is we could modulate the shift level by either sequencing it. So we could sequence it with a regular sequencer, or we could patch another funky LFO or some other kind of CV modulation input here, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the fourth input from Quadrax, and I'm going to have it modulating the shift level of tides. So maybe that's getting a little weird. Every time I've done this, I've had to sort of play around with it a little bit to find something that I like, but once you do, it can be a lot of fun to kind of get some weird, different, out there rhythms. Alright, so that's the idea of using tides as a clock. I'm going to play around for a few more minutes, but I encourage you to experiment on your own. See what you can come up with. Have fun, everyone.